Alright, so I found out this uses a 12mm axle. This uses a 10mm axle. I could not find a bearing to just put the 10mm axle in this wheel. So I'm going to have to take these off, drill this hole out to 12mm. Piece of cake. Alright, so now I gotta put new bearings in this thing, because these bearings are from 1963 or something. Oh, that was easier than I was expecting. It's got a circlip on this side I gotta take out. Alright, got my circlip pliers. Now flip this guy over. That was a piece of cake. Remember son, always buy quality bearings when you're working on something, alright? Run a towel through that thing. Somebody bead blasted this thing, so it's got little grits in it. That's definitely something you don't want around your bearings. Alright. Oh, okay. Just pretty much pushes in there. Something I like to do when I put bearings in is put a little grease on it, the little sleeve that goes inside. Alright, we got the grease. The reason why I do this is it keeps, like, I won't really be in no mud or water with this thing, but if you were to get into some mud or water, if the cavity is full of grease, it can't really get a whole lot of bad stuff in it. Drop that in. Drop this guy in. I should be using my bearing driver, but these bearings are going in incredibly easy. As you can see, that one fell out.
Hey, come and look! Guys, come and look what kind of Play-Doh I made.
You need a what?
I need my bucket and all your screws are in there.
Oh. Hang on just a second. What do you need a bucket for?
We're gonna make mud pies.
Oh, okay. Alright, let me put this piece in and then I'll get it for you.
Hey, dude! Come look what kind of Play-Doh I made for you.
Get his tires mounted yesterday? Yeah, he mounted them up. Alright, put my tire together.
Why are you videoing this shit? You ain't never gonna upload it.
Maybe one day I'll have an internet better than CenturyLink, and I'll be able to upload it. I think if I get that AT&T 4G box, I think I'll be much better with that.
Mine works pretty good.
You got the AT&T one?
I got US Cellulars.
Oh, okay. Probably about the same. I know when I used to have AT&T service out here, it picked up pretty good. I was just saying to myself how this one was going together easier than the other one. And of course, something had to prove me wrong. Maybe I'll put that in last.
I wonder all the people that turn their small blocks 11,000 RPM notice they got fake horsepower.
That's the question. Torque times RPM equals horsepower. Oop. Almost forgot my washers.
Divided by 3, 5, something. There's a divide in there too.
Oh, really? I don't know. I don't know math. You know, I graduated.
Think
Well,
about it. If
dropped
it
out.
was simply 45 foot-pounds of torque times 35 RPM, then it'd be a huge number. Yeah, but I think 500 and something.
I don't know. Those are looking good.
I did it. I used the reverse.
I got my high-tech fabrication mock-up block. It's looking nice.
Did you buy that pre-Biden?
That block?
Yeah.
Yeah, that block's probably $1,000 now. Hopefully this thing is.
Show me the wheel. Show me your fancy wheel.
Check out my fancy wheel, son. And it's 3
Tell 'em where you
pounds
got the
lighter.
tire. Tell them where you got the tire.
The tire? It's a snowblower tire. Oh crap! I can't do it like this.
For a snowblower motor.
I guess it could be a snowblower mower, couldn't it?
Yeah. It is.
It's a concrete mixer motor, sir.
Mine came off a log splitter.
That sounds heavy dookie.
Yeah.
You think 5 threads is enough to hold this front wheel on?
Fuck yeah. I've held stuff.
You really got to watch how long of a bolt you use on this thing because it comes through and then it'll hit the dang on.
Did you know?
That's really all I can do anyway.
Did you know? The nut only has to be half the diameter of the actual bolt to have full strength.
You mean half the...
It only
If
has
you
to
got
go on to a half the diameter of the bolt. So you got a 3/8 bolt. It only needs to go on like 1.5/8
Oh, okay.
to have full tensile strength.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if I run this thing. Nah, that ain't gonna make no difference. Okay, never mind on that. Somehow or another, I gotta get these 3 washers to stay. Oh, I could just put the bolt in through the other side. But then I don't know. I'll have to measure for my spacers. Oh,
Don't forget your handlebars are backwards before you do that.
oh yeah, I know. It's just because I don't have them tightened down up at the top.
How are you running the brake?
I'm running the brake on this side. The brake is from a 1989. This is a 1974 Z50 hub, and I think the brake is like a 1989, some kind of Honda scooter I was able to find that uses a 12mm axle and uses the same diameter brake pads.
You think Charles is really gonna put his mini bike on methanol?
Yeah, might as well. That's the only way he's gonna run with this thing. course my wheel is not center. It needs to move over like a ½ inch. Okay.
I guess I'll have to put. Hey, I guess I'll have to put mine on methanol.
I got the front end all together. Working brakes. I had to weld this piece on because this is like an '89 Honda scooter brake drum, and it wouldn't fit on the original, I don't know, holder thing. Had to mess with the spacing a little bit, but it's hard to tell. I got it perfectly center in there. Alright, so the next step of this puzzle, I got to take these right here. This is, I probably said it already, but it's a front forks from an old Honda 3-wheel, and I'm kind of cheating by using them, but it's pretty much perfect for what I need to do. So I got to cut the ends off. I was gonna just put a heim joint in the threads here because they're pretty thick, but I'm gonna cut these ends off, and I got these heim joints with 5/8 threads, so that'll be a little beefier to make me feel a little better. So I gotta cut both of these off, clean them up, weld these guys in, and then it's gonna bolt into. It's actually gonna bolt where the stock engine bolted, which is right here, and I ended up with the exact length I wanted. So it'll be nice. Let's see if I can cut this straight. That might be some of my best work. Pretty decent. Pretty thick tube too. That's like 3/16 wall. I'm not sure if I got my cuts perfectly square or not, but I'm gonna bottom these all the way out and then run a rod through them to keep them square before I weld them on. I think I did really good on this side, but that's why we do adjustable stuff. Alright, so I got my swing arm all mocked up. I cut this off with a plasma cutter. It looks horrible. My first time. I'm using this bolt to keep this square. And I drilled some holes here so when I get done I can also plug weld it. one of my favorite things to do is grab what I just welded. Good thing I have gloves on. See what we got. Not too shabby. I never claimed to be an expert, but I definitely put some heat in it. Alright, this came out pretty nice, but long story short, it's not going to work. Mostly because my chain, my jack shaft's going to have to be here, and my sprocket will have to be here, and I don't think I'm going to have enough clearance to get over that heim joint. So I'm going to have to redesign it, knock out these frame plugs, and I want to mount it here just because it's an ideal pivot point. Because you want to have your chain, you want to have your pivot point like your sprocket directly in front of it. So I'm going to redesign it. I'm going to knock these out, knock out the original bushings, and I just want to keep this location because this is like the strongest part on the frame, because this is the factory mount location. So I'm going to take these and cut the center out and redo these and use them on the outside. Alright, I think I got the swing arm set up pretty much perfect. I'm not going to touch it until I weld the brace in the middle, but the shocks are going to go here. And I pretty much got it, I believe, perfectly centered and level. Looks good to me. Alright, I got my brace welded in. Well, mostly. I still got to take it off and finish it. But ain't no more adjusting her now. So before I welded it in, I was able to sort of twist the heims up there and kind of vary the angle. But she's locked in now. Got her all finished welded. Stayed pretty much perfectly square. I got to go back and clean up all my old welds, and I think I'm gonna actually use these old mounts that were on this tubing to mount like probably like a chain guard or something. So I think I'll leave those up there. Alright, I've got these bushings. It's this little metal sleeve, and then this rubber piece goes inside of it. I cut off some old scooter shocks, so I'll weld them here. I took the bushings out so the rubber wouldn't get too hot. I'll weld them here, and then that's gonna hold the bottom of this guy. So these, it's kind of hard to show, but these go inside the metal thing, and then that kind of gives it like a little bushing, so it ain't just metal on metal. And then it's got the same thing in the top. So finished product pretty much. Gotta scuff it up and paint it. What'd we do?
we put bolts in here because
We got to see where we're going to weld it in place, right?
yeah,
You going to weld it for me?
I'm not old enough.
Oh, okay. I guess I'll weld it.
And then we put the clips here to test it.
Okay.
And then this hanging back here
It's
is
looking
the
pretty
tail-
cool.
Is the tail light.
You think it looks pretty
What do you think?
All right, this thing's looking pretty cool, but I think the back of it's
Jack
way
up
too high. Yeah, so I'm gonna need to move those shock mounts back.
Down.
The shocks feel pretty good.
You have to move them
Yeah.
that way.
I'll move them back a little bit to kind of drop the back end down some.
So you have to put.
All right, I got everything. Well, I got pretty much everything done, but I just got to weld on the shock mounts. So I got the shocks set up for a good angle and good rebound. And I kind of want it a little lower, but it sits really good when I'm sitting on it because I'm kind of fat. But yeah, I got to take this and I'll take it all back apart and weld the shock tabs on. And then I think I'll probably be ready for final assembly. I still got to make the engine mount and jack shaft mounts, but that's gonna be easy.